Our next speaker is Nick from Ahrefs. Yeah, please welcome.
Yeah, okay. Hi everyone, I'm so glad to see you here. Thank you for coming, and special thanks to our friends, Zio Agency, for bringing so many amazing people together. It's an amazing event, I totally enjoy it. My name is Nick Churick, and I work in the marketing team of Ahrefs. In case you don't know, Ahrefs is a set of SEO tools, marketing tools, that helps people grow organic search traffic to their website. And funny enough, organic search traffic is probably our main customer acquisition channel, probably the same important for us as the word of mouth. And naturally, we want this traffic to grow. I think we've been pretty successful with this over the past years. For example, today our website is getting almost a bit more than 500,000 organic searches, organic visits from search, and half of this traffic is coming from our blog. That's very important because the other pages outside the blog are mostly ranking for the branded terms like Ahrefs or some specific Ahrefs-related keywords. But the blog helps us bring people who don't know of Ahrefs to our website. But this hasn't been like this all this time. Just 2 years ago, our traffic to our blog was less than 30,000 visits per month. And in just 2 years, we've been able to grow this traffic tenfold, actually. So today, I would like to share our general approach to content marketing and a few very small but really, really important tips that I'm sure will help you to grow your traffic as well. But I'd like to start with another thing, because you see, Ahrefs is a well-established website. It took us many years to get to where we are today. And actually, the backlink authority of Ahrefs is pretty high. But what if you're just getting started, if your website is pretty new, if you're publishing just new content, and you want some quick wins? You can't act at the same scale as the giants or even good websites like Ahrefs. So I have a small study for you. Let's begin with a very important question. How long does it take to rank on Google? I'm sure if you're a company representative or if you're a business owner and you hire an agency or you hire maybe content marketing specialist or an SEO, you ask them this question. And when they answer you is, it depends. Yeah, it depends. We made a study and saw that 78% of pages that rank in top 10 in Google are 1 year and older. And among all the newly published pages, only 6% of them will get into Google 10 for at least one keyword within the first year. Taking a step further, this distribution is not equal. You see, the high DR websites have much more chances to rank fast on Google. Low DR websites have less chances. DR is domain rating. It's our own metric at Ahrefs. With it, we measure the total backlink strength of the website. So it accounts all the backlinks to the website, not just to the content. And we saw a very strong correlation between the domain rating of a website and the number of keyword rankings that the website actually gets. And probably the final nail into the coffin is that among all pages that we've analyzed, and these were 920 million content pages, no matter how old they are, 91% of them will never get to Google Stop, will never get any traffic from Google. This sounds really desperate for content publishers, right? But instead of being desperate, let's try to learn from the winners. What if I told you that you can analyze the newly published pages that get a good amount of traffic? And we have this tool. We have Content Explorer in Ahrefs. So you can search for the pages that were published. Well, for this study especially, I searched for the pages that were published less than 1 year ago that get at least 500 visits per month from search, which is pretty decent. But it was the minimum, the entry level. And the domain rating of the website is less than 50. Domain rating 50 equals to approximately 350 referring domains to the whole website. That's very approximate, but generally it means that it is achievable for an OK website. Yeah, so I set these filters in Content Explorer, And I searched for a small bunch of random keywords that just came into my mind. So these are the keywords. The middle column shows the number of the results that matched these filters. As you see, there were quite a few ones. So to narrow down the list even more, because I wanted to analyze them manually to see the patterns, I only looked at the pages that had the exact title that I searched for in their title. And here's the very first thing that I noticed, absolutely surprising for me. 1/2 of these pages were list posts, and the bigger part of them were posts where they listed best X things like best products to sell, best places to go, best mirrorless cameras, for example, so the best posts. And in total, these posts accounted for 1/2 of the pages that matched these results. So basically, fresh pages that got traffic relatively quickly. Around 1/4, 24%, were detailed guides that explained things in detail, as we call them, long reads. So they were like 200, 3,000 words long, or even longer. Actually, the product pages and the landing pages, well, actually the pages where something was offered or sold, only made 15% of all these pages. And press releases and news accounted for the remaining parts. So that's the first takeaway from the study. But then I went a bit further and wanted to see what else makes these pages special. Why Google thinks that they are better than millions and millions of other content pages. And I saw a few clear patterns. First of all, almost all these pages were ranking for a huge number of keywords. I will talk a bit about this later, but generally that's something that we call traffic potential. So when the page is getting traffic from thousands and thousands other keywords, this means that the traffic potential of the topic is high. That's the example, for example, how to cook a soft-boiled egg. As you can see, there are 3,000 keywords that you can search and find this page. So seemingly easy topic, but so many potential keywords. Then the next pattern was ranking for low keyword difficulty keywords. Keyword difficulty is measured differently at different tools. Ours is pretty simple. So the more backlinks the top search results have, the higher the keyword difficulty. If the top search results don't have much keywords, it means that don't have much backlinks, it means that the keyword difficulty is relatively low, and you have high chances to rank if you have done at least some link building, and you can even outperform some giants like Amazon, Wikipedia, whatever, because their website in total is strong, but that piece of content doesn't have much backlinks. So, and as you can see, the even low keyword difficulty keywords can have a very high search traffic potential. And this particular guide, it's only 400 words long. It has also images in it, but still 400 words long. Stupid topic about fixing Windows 10 headphones, although it's a very good topic. I've been there also. And it's getting 10,000 visits from search per month. Again, it was published in December 2019. The next I've told already about this are long reads. For example, the post about best mirrorless cameras to travel 2019. It's 7,000 words long, and it's getting 15.2 organic search traffic per month. And link building. I'm sure you've heard a lot over the past maybe year or 2 years that link building is dead, that link building doesn't matter. But for example, this particular result, I have taken a close look at this post. It's nothing particular about it. It's okay, but it's not excellent. It's not, no, okay, it's good, but it's not excellent. And I'm sure it could not have received 73 referring domains just naturally. There was nothing exceptional about this post that people would like to link to it. So I took a small look at their backlink profile, I look at the linking pages, and I'm almost sure that the guys did a very good link building campaign, and as you can see, it's pretty successful. So it was published in December 2019, over the 1 year with a good backlink profile. After link building, they're getting 10,000 visits from search. And maybe a bonus tip is to think outside the box. I was really surprised that when I searched for the topic of gardening, because I just look at the plant on my window, and on the topic of gardening, the guys created a list of gardening and farming games. I couldn't even imagine that a topic like this can bring you more than 1,000 in organic traffic. And in case you wonder what page that went live less than a year ago is getting an insane amount of traffic, and in fact, among the pages published less than 1 year ago in Content Explorer, it's the YouTube converter. I did analysis of their website. It actually went live less than 1 year ago, and in 1 year, with a very small DR, with 154 referring domains only, it's getting 3 million visits from search. So if you need an idea of a tool you can create, you can try this one, because I've seen the volatility on the SERP is pretty high for such tools, so you have high chances to get the traffic too. Okay, so the takeaways. A quick flow of traffic to your content is possible. People, and thus Google, love best lists, list posts, and detailed guides. Low keyword difficulty keywords can really have a big traffic potential. You just have to search for them. Be creative in your keyword research, and maybe you need somewhere luck. And if you want to do the same study for your niche, for your keywords, because it was a very small selection, you know where to find them. I'm not pushing you to subscribe to Ahrefs. You can ask your friends to make an export for you. You can go to Fiverr, for example, and ask for an export for just $5, or you can sign up for a $7 trial, do the exports, and have enough content for the next half a year, maybe for content creation. Just learn from the winners, and I will help you. All right, and now to Ahrefs blog finally. So that's the essence of the content marketing that we do at Ahrefs. We focus on organic search traffic only and don't even care about other sources of traffic. Our keyword research is the same, the standard as everyone does, but it has a few special aspects. I'll tell you about them. We do content audits regularly. We keep our content fresh. I'll explain you what that means. And we focus on quality and expertise. Why do we focus on organic search traffic only? Think about content publishing as an investment. There are long-term investments and there are short-term investments. For example, you publish a content around some hot topic, about some seemingly easy topic. You publish a post, you promote it, you send it to your email subscribers, you send it to the you share it on your social media channels. Someone reshares it, someone shares it, someone sends it to their friends, and as a result, in the first maybe 1 week, you get this nice spike of traffic. But what happens later is your traffic is fading, and actually in 1 year or even in 1 month, this content does nothing for you. It's like a ballast, it brings you no revenue, it brings you nothing, it just exists on your website. But if you look about this, if you focus on this like a long-term investment, maybe you target harder topics and you target not that fancy or not that popular topics, you actually do the same. You publish the content, you promote it, you get that spike of traffic. Maybe it's less than in the first example. But what happens later is that you're starting to receive so-called passive traffic from search. So with little or no effort from your side, actually it's free traffic, and your content performs on and on, month to month, year to year. So with this approach, the long-term approach, it's much higher return of investment of your content. For example, at Ahrefs, we have a very small team. Our marketing team is 12 persons. We just don't have resources to write content that won't perform like this. So our ideal chart looks like this, and if we see that the traffic is fading, this means that we must take some actions. I'll tell you about this a bit later. What makes our keyword research different? Of course, everyone does keyword research. They select the keywords, they look at the search volume. More advanced ones look at the keyword difficulty, look at the number of clicks, because not every search results in clicks. But here's a few other things that we do. We look at the total search traffic potential of the keyword, not just search volume, and look when we have a business potential score. We just call it like this in Ahrefs. What is this total search traffic potential? Let me show you a very quick example. We have two keywords, SEO tips and how to get traffic to your website. You see that the search volume for SEO tips is much higher, keyword difficulty, let's say they're the same, and both keywords are relevant to our niche. Well, we'd like to rank for them. Which keyword would you go for? Well, you have the answer in your mind. The key to this question is that pages never rank for just one keyword. Take a look at the top ranking pages for these keywords. For SEO tips, the top ranking pages are ranking for less than 100 keywords, and in total they're getting less than 1,000 traffic, although the search volume of the keywords is huge. And for how to get traffic to our website, you see that the top pages are ranking for thousands of keywords, well, almost 2,000 keywords, and thanks to all these keywords, all the other relevant long-tail keywords, etc., because the topic is kind of broader and you have more freedom to write about it and people use more queries to search for these topics. So in total, they are getting thousands and thousands in traffic, although the search volume of the keyword was like 1,000, yeah? Yeah. So that's what we call traffic potential. And about business potential score. We score them like if the topic has if the product is a replaceable solution for the problem in this topic, we score the keyword or the topic as 3. 2 means that our keyword can help a little bit, but the problem can be solved without it. There are alternatives that we can recommend, for example, different tools or different resources. 1 means that our content helps our potential and existing clients, but we cannot actually sell our product with this content. So it mostly works for brand awareness and not sales pitch. And 0 means that there's absolutely no way to mention our product. Naturally, we focus on the keywords that have a score of 3. Score of 1 has least priority, and we will never get for the keywords that have a business potential of 0. For example, Facebook marketing strategy, it looks good, but for us, we don't have SMM tools, and SMM has always, well, often very little intersection with SEO, so we'll just not be able to convert the people who are looking for Facebook marketing strategy into our clients, so we just won't target this keyword. And if you want to just get a few ideas where to find the topics that your ideal clients want to read about, so you can use any keyword research tool. There are plenty of very good ones, and just apply modifiers to find questions like how, why, when, for example. You can look at the people ask boxes in Google searches and the related searches. You can go to Reddit, to relevant forums, and to see the trending topics and the questions that people write there. Same for Quora. And of course, you can ask your existing customers and audience, even although you don't have a lot, for example, for now, but still they can give you some clues. For example, this post, Google 10-sheet formulas for SEO, it was requested in our Facebook group, and now it's doing pretty well. Then we do regular content audits. So what this means, that we're looking at the underperforming pages, the pages that are getting 0 traffic from search, and we get rid of them. We either delete them or we redirect them. For example, last year we deleted 1/3 of all the posts at Hrefs blog, and without any additional effort, in 60 days, the remaining posts were getting 8% more traffic. This maybe doesn't look revolutionary or that exciting, but we're not alone here. For example, Siege Media saw a 50% increase in traffic for one of their clients when they deleted 15% of their content. Robbie Richards saw a similar but much higher 79% increase for one of his clients. And our very own Samo is the guy behind all our videos. He also has a few websites. He deleted 74% of content on his website. And this increased his overall traffic by over 80%. That's insane. Maybe it's such exception, but it did happen. So this means that your website might have some ballast that you can read off or use more wisely. Even Google, not directly, but they recommend to do something with low-quality, low-performing pages on your website. Here's what John Miller recommends. And if you have a very huge website, if you have tens of thousands URLs, this also might help with the crawling budget. Here's the next word from Webmaster Central blog. They also tell that getting rid of these URLs can, well, tons of bad URLs can negatively affect crawling and indexing. Here's the flow chart for our content audit. Maybe later you'll be able to download this presentation, but generally, if the content is less than months old, we won't touch it because maybe it will start getting traffic. If it's older than 6 months and doesn't get any traffic, we see does it really receive organic search traffic. If it doesn't, we look at the number of followed backlinks that it has. If it has a meaningful number of backlinks, we will redirect it to some other relevant post. If it doesn't, we won't bother, we won't redirect it to the blog or to the head page. We will just delete it and leave it return 404. For example, we had 4 blog posts on our post that targeted broken link building. So we merged them into one giant guide, and we redirected the remaining 3 to this guide. Now a few words about search intent. You may be wondering why I mentioned search intent in terms of content audits and not in terms of keyword research and content creation as it's supposed to be. First of all, search intent could have changed over years. And the second point, if you're doing an audit for another website or after someone, people just could have ignored the search intent and did not consider it when they created content. That's how our Joshua Hardwick defines search content. Actually, is the expectation of the searcher, what they expect to see when they use a particular keyword for a search. And this is very easy. There are many guides, there are many long guides that tell you about search intent, but it's really easy. Google has already done the work for us. You just search for the query, you just look at the top results, and you understand what people want to see there. A few examples why I emphasize this. Around 2 years ago, we published a huge data-driven study of 2 million keywords. We looked at the ranking factors, on-page ranking factors, on-page factors that help content to rank high. And in the first months, it was a huge success, but over the next year, the interest in it faded. We wanted to see what happened, and we saw that all the top results were occupied by guides. They were step-by-step guide for on-page SEO. So it looks like Google and people just did not care about this study anymore. So what we did, we rewrote it completely. We turned it into an on-page SEO guide, called it an actionable guide. And you see the arrow, that's what happened to the traffic. It boosted over the next month. Same happened to our backlink checker page. Actually, it was a very generic page that we wanted to target backlink checker keyword. It's extremely important for us. It was just a text with a few screenshots, and that's it. Back when it was published, it was okay. But the next year, we almost lost all the traffic. Then we looked at the top search results, and they were all occupied by free tools, by free SEO checkers. So we had no other choice. We created our own free backlink checker, limited, of course, but a free tool. And once we turned our landing page into a free tool, here's what happened to our traffic. Yeah, it just skyrocketed. So that's what it means to match the user's intent. And the bonus that you get when you nail search intent, that people will start linking for you, because other content creators are looking for the sources to link. They'll be finding your content, link to you more. As they link to you more, you'll start growing in rankings. Your rankings grow, people start linking to you more. That's what we call a vicious SEO circle of SEO. So nailing search intent also helps you get backlinks naturally. But that's as a bonus. Of course, primarily you should focus on the searches. Next thing we do is we keep our content fresh. And by keeping fresh, I don't mean just hitting the update button in WordPress when you change the sentence or two or a paragraph, or you just make some small tweaks to your content. It means that we rewrite or make a very huge update to our post, and we republish it with the old URL, but we republish it as if it was new. Here's the chart. By the way, you can analyze any website in Content Explorer and see a similar chart. So the dark columns are the number of republished content, and the blue ones is the new content. It's not a secret tactic. We are not alone to use it. For example, Brian Dean's backlinko, you see the same happens. The dark columns are republished content for Brian. That's the Yoast website. You see, many people do the same, and they are pretty successful. Here's how it works. For example, our off-page SEO guide. The two arrows show the dates when the content was republished, and you see that the traffic was increasing. But I must warn you, don't just change the first published date on your content if you haven't actually given it a huge update. I don't think you'll get a Google penalty for this, but Google specifically says that if they saw such kind of manipulations, they will lose trust in your numbers, in your dates, and they will start ignoring them. And the last part is the quality and authority of the content. If, for example, well-written content with perfect grammar, excellent structure, and the question if the content solves the problem or not are obvious, that's what we call epic content and good-looking content. The last two items are often overlooked. For example, is it visually appealing? And does the content creator have the necessary knowledge to write this content? For the visual part, we use custom images on our blog posts. Almost all of them, for example, or at least the top post has them. We absolutely believe that this is the easiest way to persuade the readers, the visitors, that you've put effort into your blog posts. For example, let's say we have two absolutely equal anchor text guides. The first one has this image from Shutterstock, and the second has this image. For me, it's absolutely clear that the guys who wrote the second post put much more effort, money, time, etc. into their post, and they maybe took it more seriously. So the custom images, they're really easy just to help with content recognizability, let's call it so, because if you follow the same style and people come across your new content, they will just recognize you because of the images. You demonstrate your efforts and resources, and this is like kind of your book cover. We all know that Google uses user signals. Well, we all firmly believe that Google uses user signals. And if your book cover is better, people will spend more time on your pages. This will send better user signals to Google. So actually, that's why I'm talking about this in terms of SEO. And if you tell me that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, this doesn't even work for books. You've seen the new books. And of course, it's different for web content where the competition is really high. You have to have a very good cover. And probably, the last thing I want to touch on is the expertise. You remember the last year's Medic update? It mostly touched medical health-related websites. And before the date, you see, many people didn't even know that Google has search quality raters, that these raters have search quality guidelines, and that these guidelines mention the EAT, like expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. But after that, see what happened. That's the number of content that people started to publish after this update. So when creating content, we have two amazing guys that write the most part of the content for our blog. Is Joshua Hardwick, is Tim Solo. They know their shit. They get help from the whole our team because many people contribute to their posts. They give them their ideas. They give them their feedback. But we all cannot know everything, yet we want that juicy traffic to our website. For example, honestly, we say that often we don't have the necessary practical experience at Hrefs, but we want this topic. And what we do, we either crowdsource opinions or we interview experts. We don't do expert roundups anymore, that's a dead end for us, but here's what we do. For example, for this post, we created a post on Reddit, and people recommended their best Chrome extensions there. We also published it on a few Facebook and Slack groups, and we just collected the votes from the SEO community, and there you have it. We have the guide on the best Chrome extensions for SEOs. When we wrote about dwell time, we reached out to a few experts. We asked their opinion, we asked their advice, and we just embedded them inside the text as quotations. For example, here's the one from Eric Inge, Stone Temple. And when I was working on the guide about Google penalties, I realized that I know very little about it. Luckily, Hrefs was never affected by Google penalties. So we reached out to Marie Haynes. She's just an extreme expert in penalties and lifting penalties. I made an interview with her, and then I turned this interview into a guide. I forgot to tell you the reason why I actually included this point. Like 2 months ago, sorry for this example, but 2 months ago, my toilet flush tank was leaking, and I wanted to fix it. I found the guide, I followed this guide, and I totally broke it. The problem was that the content was written by a copywriter who just took a look at maybe a few videos or a few blog posts and wrote his own. And if it was written by an expert, he would have warned me that I should not touch or remove that thing, and I would be safe. That's a very simple example, but imagine the copywriters writing about health topics, writing about law-related topics, etc., where the level of responsibility must be higher. So if you're not an expert in the topic, but you need the traffic, you should find an expert, interview them, and then let the copywriter or the editor do the job and create it into some epic piece of content. That's it. You got? Thank you. I hope you have some questions because I have 10 minutes left.
Thanks so much, Nick. Yes, do you have any questions? Yes, we have.
Thank you for your presentation. My question is about content reduction. We're also in the middle of this process, and we have a dilemma whether to delete the posts completely or to redirect them. Wouldn't this for error hurt our rankings if we delete, let's say, a third of our alt posts that don't bring much traffic?
You redirect them to where?
If we delete them, if we have only 404 without any redirect, wouldn't it hurt our rankings?
It's absolutely okay to have many 404 pages. It's natural for any website. It's good for Google.
Thank you.
Is there any question? So, okay. Thanks so much, Nick.
Okay, thank you.